All right. Pop on here real quick. The reason why is because there's an ad or post that came across my Instagram, and it's regarding the methylene blue, and super popular right now. The hype behind it with longevity and super powerful antioxidant. It's a chemical salt. It's used as a dye, as a drug. It's one of the first man-made drugs, fully man-made. That's the claim of it. And so it has a lot of cool things that it can do, is what the claims are. Um, and it brought my curiosity because of prevention or reducing the cycles of cluster headaches. The reason why is because one of the main benefits of the um, methylene blue, as you see on down here, all these claims, it's going to be the reducing depression. And so it seems to be able to help people who are on SSRIs come off of them without having some sort of withdrawal or a mirroring effect. And also with the Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, reducing the risk of oxidative stress in the brain, and also helps with neurological functions of the Parkinson's disease. And it helps with a whole load of other things with bacteria and funguses that are growing in the body. Super powerful antioxidant. So my curiosity brought that because with cluster headaches, the way that doctors go about cluster headaches is that they try to treat them as if they were migraines. And so one of the ways that they will do it is with antidepressants and putting them on SSRIs or tricyclics. I'm not the biggest fan. It kind of makes you go numb to emotions and feelings, lessens your energy production, and I just don't like the long-term effects of it. So the other option with whenever you get a cluster headache cycle is to be prescribed methylprednisone. And that's, I've heard of prednisone being fine for people who have used it for some sort of weight loss. I see the function in it, but again, without control, I don't see where that's going. But that's a different topic. But the methylprednisone, I don't think that's that safe either, just because there's so many people that have bad effects with like the moon face or like retaining water, so increased edema. And I don't think that's good, whether it be limbs or around organs. So the curiosity of this methylene blue would be a replacement for SSRIs, right? So that's really cool. So one thing that we know about cluster headaches is that we don't know much about it, right? Not too many people have it. Pharmaceutical companies are going to spend the money to do research on it. And then also researchers aren't going to spend the time doing it, again, because there's not enough people that have it. So why not treat it as if it were something similar? Similar is not exact. You know, you can't tune a Ferrari the same way you tune a Honda. They're similar. They're cars. They're similar as far as what they do in transportation, but they're not the same vehicle and not the same technology or mechanics. So you can't service them the same. So the thought process behind this was to implement the methylene blue. Now, right now, with cluster headaches, I have someone on with a lot of NAC. So we're talking like, I think we're up to like closer to 6 grams of NAC a day. And that's more of like a preventative measure. And then CoQ10, yes, they're on it as well. And then also a dihydroberberine. That's, in my opinion, I'm just trying to control as much stress from the body as possible. So if I can control some sort of metabolic stress, then that's the way we're going to go. NAC also to help with histamine, and also methylfolate to help with homeocysteine levels, and trying to really just control as much inflammation as possible. So turmeric, same idea. But we've been using thymosin as well. And it's funny, when we implemented the thymosin, the injections, we were doing 0.5 milligram every night. It seemed to help the cycle pain. And so like the frequency of it popping, if I Thymosin. I can't. Thymosin. But so we were doing injections of this. So thymosin, alpha A instead of TB 500. You know, a lot of people go TB 500. It's more synthetic versus the thymosin alpha A. In my opinion, it's going to be way better. But the boost of the thymosin, again, to try to help with reducing any type of like immune problems, right? So cluster headaches, we started doing the thymosin injections at night. The attacks during the night stopped, even though the said person was on methylprednisone. So if the attacks happen at night, you got to get up, you got to take other type of pain management. And so that could be Imitrex is an option. And it's an injection, that's sumatriptan, and very effective, but it kind of leaves you very tired the next day. Stimulation of the CNS, maybe stimulation of, a muscular skeletal system. There's so many possibilities of why the person doesn't feel the greatest the next day. Low energy levels, low cognitive function. So we wanted to mitigate that. Thymosin injections every night seem to stop that, right? Coincidence? I don't know. It was toward the end of the cycle. So, anyways, that would be me going the route of, hey, maybe this is an autoimmune problem. Maybe this is also a histamine problem. So I'm a big believer that the thymosin and that it can control how the body reacts to histamine, and it can control some of the mutations that autoimmune disease may have on you. So that can also stimulate thyroid production. So all these things into account, that's what we're looking at for the prevention and control of cluster headaches. So another way that cluster busters, it's like this little group of people that try to figure out what's going on with cluster headaches. So they suggest things like, mushrooms that don't have the LSD in them. I think it's like bromo 6 or something, or bromo 6. But they hold meetings and they have a lot of research. So the more and more I am looking into this methylene blue, this is something that I don't see them ever talking about. And again, it's not new. This has been around since the 1800s. So again, oxygen therapy, more oxygen to the brain, trying to reduce any type of, again, right down here, like oxidative damage to the brain cells because they're not getting enough oxygen maybe. So maybe this can help with kind of reduce that impairment. So I don't know, man. That's kind of the route that we're going. Now, the other thing that we're also doing is like soil-based organisms, so SBO, probiotics. Again, whatever's happening in the gut is probably systemic throughout the rest of the body. That's what we're finding out. So we're doing SBOs, and you have specific ones for gut health as well. So that's the route that we are going. There's some gut health ones, the gut recovery, and again, trying to get as much certified organic and regenerative as possible to give the body what it needs, and help the body be a little bit smarter the next time around, probably next year, or maybe longer than a year or less than a year, whenever these cluster headaches happen again. The other thing that we're implementing is, organs, right? So you have like the women's vitality. We're not doing that one. That's like the multiple pills. So we're doing 1 a day one. So you're just getting the specific glands. Again, this is the thought process. We eat from nose to tail, right? Everything of the body. The earth gives us what we need to survive, and has been doing that for years and years and years. So this is a route that we're going to make sure that we're giving the proper nutrients for what those by giving it the organs. So it seems to have worked for many, many years. Why won't it work now, right? And you can go up this dose, you can go super high, you can go more than a gram. Right now, we're just sticking with the gram. And then we have other ingredients or like other products that have that same ingredient in it. And just trying to heal the gut lining as much as possible. So that's pretty much like kind of like a little rundown of what has been going on. So I know that I've been kind of like doing some rambling vlogs, I guess you would say. They're not even vlogs, it's just rambling. Kind of doing like updates of the house that we just bought and over here in Texas. So from Florida to Texas, and here we are over here in off of Houston, close to Sugar Land. But it's kind of the way that we're playing around. So if you have cluster headaches, or if you know someone that has cluster headaches, kind of like put down in the comments of like, hey, what have you done that worked, or what have you not done but thought about maybe doing, but maybe you can't find a good sourcing for it, or it's too expensive. I'm always interested in things like that. But so far, the methylene blue is what we're going to go for. 10 milligrams seems to be the dose that's good for and like general population for what they want as far as like a boost of energy, ATP production, without any type of negative side effects. People have run 20 milligrams, but they haven't seen a difference. So why waste the money? That's kind of like the reason why I wouldn't do it. But you can also continue to give the body what it needs, just based from, I would say, like peptides, right? So give it what it knows, what it needs. Again, I'm affiliated with Amino Asylum, so a lot of these I don't recommend, but again, the BPC 157, I highly recommend that. The body knows what it is, it creates it in its gastric acid. So give more of what it is. It doesn't need to do extra thinking of how to, use the natural extract from it. So that's the route that I would go as far as like peptides. If you're going to go with like a herbal blend, go with a fermented one. I would just say, try to keep it as simple as possible for your body to absorb and digest. Sometimes these extracts are like a really high percentage of the polyphenol or compound that's in those herbs. And sometimes it's like maybe too much of a bolus. And sometimes that's not good. That's like being super thirsty and then overhydrating with just water. And you get so sick that you kind of throw up. So we kind of want to prevent that with the drugs, or not with the drugs, with the herbs, right? Anyways, I'm leaving it there. And let me know what you guys think. All right.